Welcome in, everyone. Welcome to episode 12 of the Digital Arcade Podcast. I am joined by the one and only master of the Matrix himself, Mr. Synthetic Relapse.
Yo, yo, yo.
I'm having deja vu because I
Why?
want to say it was the first episode of Rated, which we need to do a next one. I believe that was literally the first thing that came out your mouth was yo, yo, yo. And I reprimanded you. I said, is that how you want to be remembered? Your first breath is yo, yo, yo. He's Synthetic. I am the VolticAce. And we are back. And a little birdie told me that there was a 10th Annual Game Awards.
You can say that.
So, yeah.
There was definitely awards and video games.
I streamed it. You were there with me. And what is your initial thoughts of the Game Awards? Did you enjoy it?
I mean, it was enjoyable, but it was underwhelming.
Okay. I get that. I enjoyed it. And it did have its moments. But...
Yeah.
Like, the stuff I was personally hoping for wasn't there, I was hoping for a little Persona 6, But they did have some surprises.
About the only game that I was 100% expecting was The Witcher 4. That was about it. Like, I was expecting that. I was not expecting the Elden Ring game that's coming out, that I'm honestly not looking forward to after doing more research about it. Other than that, there's not a lot coming out.
Okay, so I will say I have heard mixed things about how people felt about it. Overall, I thought it was awesome, but with it being the 10th annual, I thought they would have done like more like show you clips from the past and just more acknowledgement that it's been here.
I would expect them to actually show more games and with actual gameplay. This was a trailer fest, to say the least. Like, what is it? Those Muppets said it's a bunch of trailers with a interruption of Game Awards. Is what it felt like.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse you. Do you have a permit? Because shots were fired. Yeah.
I do have a permit. Thank you.
Oh wow, things got real. Okay, yeah. But you hinted at something, and let's just jump right into it because there's a lot to cover. Right off the back, you mentioned Elden Ring. And that was, oh gosh, Elden Ring, there's so much to say about it. So let's talk about the new Elden Ring game, because a lot of people don't know what's going on with it. They did talk about it later on after the award, some information was released. So for those who don't know, Synthetic, if you could be so kind and enlighten them of this new game.
So the new game coming out is called Elden Ring Night Reign, which is basically saying it's Elden Ring Fortnite. For those who don't get the reference, basically this is a Elden Ring style roguelite Fortnite clone, I guess you could say. Which the main reason I'm kind of wary of it is because I'm not a Fortnite person. Which, no offense to anybody who is, for one. And Miyazaki has nothing to do with this. He just did not touch this game. This is like Dark Souls 2 kind of style game.
Ooh. So, okay, like I did hear that it wasn't going to be a roguelike, but this is news to me hearing this Fortnite-ness. Fortnite-ness, that is totally a word. So what do you mean with it being similar to Fortnite?
So it's similar to Fortnite. You're in a area, you drop in, the winged creature, ghost-like animal, whatever it is kind of like your battle modes. You drop into the area, takes place among a certain amount of days. I forget exactly how many days. And basically each round is 15 minutes. Then you're going up against a boss. And if you die, you lose all of the stuff that you basically collected for that whole thing. That's how it's kind of roguelike. Yeah. But like you don't get to mold your characters. There's no leveling up. There's no progression system. Like if you beat the boss, the day is extended. That's about it. And you just keep going. The night, as they're calling it, encloses on the area where you land.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Got you. So it's the Elden Ring map that it takes place on, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
it takes place in the lands between.
So in concept, I think it's a cool idea, and I think it will scratch that itch that people didn't realize they have. I think it sounds pretty cool, but my only thing is, I wonder about the longevity of it. You know, how long is that gonna last? You know, but who knows? I still have to beat Elden Ring myself, so I've been slacking.
it might get the Fortnite players over to the Souls likes. I don't know. I mean, I'm not putting it down, but I'm weary. Like, I'm gonna see before I get it what's gonna happen.
Gotcha. And you know, at the same time, that I know right away that's not gonna be everyone's cup of tea. I get it. Soul fans, I get it. But that doesn't mean it's a bad thing, because that's more eyes on the product, right? And if you have more people becoming introduced to the Soul series and getting into it, that's only going to benefit the Soul series overall. So it may not be everyone's cup of tea, but sometimes these games aren't made for you. Who knows? It's more of a wait and see, right?
Yep, let's wait and see.
Is there any other game that blew your socks off that you were like surprised about or happy or intrigued about?
Yeah, I was actually intrigued that they are coming out with another Turok game because as a older gamer, I'm gonna say,
Oh, come on, you're 26.
I grew up on Turok. Like, ever since the N64, Turok was actually the first-person shooter I ever played.
Wait, hold on. It wasn't Doom?
No, because back then I did not have a PC.
Okay, that surprised me because I know you're a big Doom fan.
I am a big Doom fan, but it took me... I didn't have my first PC until high school. And it may have been able to play Doom, but I didn't play Doom. I played it on our technology computers at school, but because people constantly uploaded the shareware.
Oh, those were the days. Those were the days.
Yeah, those are the days. And of course, The Witcher 4, which is getting a lot of heat right now because everybody's complaining about how it's about Ciri and not Geralt, which I'm fine with it as long as it's a good game.
Exactly. And then my golden rule personally is no one's forcing you to buy it. If you don't like it, save your money. Keep it pushing. There's tons of other games to play. Now, I'm happy that CD Projekt Red is making another Witcher because I know everyone loves it. But I didn't get too hyped just because I still have to play The Witcher 3. I played The Witcher 2, but not 3 as yet.
Well, The Witcher 3 is a very long game. Like, I still haven't completely finished it, but I do... Like, I've read the books, I watched the TV series, so...
I gotta get back into the series. I started it. I was watching it with my ex, but yeah, since then I haven't gone back.
You can kind of skip the third season. It wasn't the greatest.
You know, you're not the first person to tell me that. I don't know what the heck happened.
Very, very good fights, but a lot of just like filler crap, and Geralt is maybe only in the actual whole season for like less than an hour of TV. Yeah.
Speaking of Turok, right? So that was a major reveal, and if you remember on stream, I have it. I have the video to prove it. I called it. I was like, that's Turok. I called it. So I'm proud of that. I'll take that W. But speaking of returns, Okami.
Yeah.
Who expected that? I thought that was a done deal. Didn't the studio close down? The team who made original Okami?
I don't remember. I just know that if I remember correctly, the original Okami didn't sell that well, especially since it was an exclusive for the Wii, and not a lot of people had the Wii back in the day whenever Okami first came out. So I don't know if they got split and put on different projects, because I remember, which Okami was a playable character in one of the
Marvel games?
No. Smash. Okami was in Smash Brothers, wasn't he?
Fake gamers, ladies and gentlemen. No. It wasn't in Smash Brothers. It was in Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Marvel vs. Capcom. Yeah, that's right.
Yes, sir. Which that was a big surprise.
Uh, but yeah, another game I really wasn't expecting was a new Ninja Gaiden either.
Oh yeah, yeah. Which to me, it kind of reminds me of old school Shinobi. If you remember from like the Genesis era.
I do.
Yeah, we're showing our age, man.
It reminds me of kind of like Shinobi with Streets of Rage and a little
Hmm.
bit of actually going into it. There's another Double Dragon coming out too.
Yeah, all these remakes, remake.
Well, remakes and sequels, to be honest, which leads me into another thing, a remake of The Last of Us 2, which is really not needed, all because they're bringing it to PC.
Okay, so we kind of spoke about that on stream, right? Or
Yeah,
after stream, whenever it was. So, does The Last of Us 2 need a remake? Absolutely not.
absolutely not.
I feel like it just came out. But at the same time, seeing how I haven't played Last of Us 2 and I love the first one, it is perfect for me, so I am down for it. I am copying it. But
Well,
yeah,
it's just like for the past, what, 3 console generations, Sony has kind of done a cash grab and has released The Last of Us on each console. Like, I
yeah.
know there's a PS4 version, there's a PS5 version. Whenever it comes, they make PS6. Is it going to come out for PS6? I mean, it's ridiculous. Like,
I'll tell you one thing. I bet GTA 5 is going to come out on on PS6 even
oh,
though
I guarantee Skyrim is going to be on PS6.
yep.
But yeah, it's like games like Horizon Zero Dawn didn't need a remake. Like it did
Yeah.
not need just because you're porting a game and they're only doing this because they're coming to PC does not mean you need to quote unquote make it a remake. Like they did it with Until Dawn. Until
Mhm.
Dawn did not need a remake cuz that game even though it was PS4 still looks great.
Yeah, it does. And so I could understand like something getting remade for a new generation because we are older gamers and like look at Okami.
Yeah.
People born in the last few years are probably like what the heck is Okami? And there's some of those games are locked on their console where it's like yeah, you can't get Okami unless you have a PS2 or a Wii or whatever it may be. So I could understand that. But if the game came out, what, in like the last 5, 6 years, it's like, come on. Because Until Dawn, that was, I think it was a PS3 game, and then it was remade on
Oh, it was
P4.
PS4.
Oh, okay, it
It
was
was
P4.
PS4. Yeah.
So it came out on P4, and then they did the remastered version, and same thing with Last of Us. Because it
Mhm.
was, Last of Us was originally a P3 game, then they
Yep.
did the remake on P4, and then I,
And then they ported it to PC.
mm-hmm.
And then whenever PS5 came out, they made a PS5 version.
Yeah, and it's like, why? Like this, but you know what? No, rewind that. I'm saying why. I know why. It's money. I
Money.
Yeah, that's what it is, and that's the thing. Like a lot of, I think as gamers, we also forget these game companies. They're companies. Their objective is to make money. So that's why they do some of the stuff they do because yeah, they got to keep the lights on. I get it. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, we definitely don't need a remake.
We do not, which honestly, which is something I wanted to talk about, is the cost of remakes are ridiculous as well. Like the market right now is like how for a PS5 game you're looking at $70. Like for AAA games, like if you're not getting what is technically classified an indie game nowadays, you're paying $70 for a game. Like even if it's the new Silent Hill 2 game, $70 right there. I mean, granted Silent Hill 2 was completely redone from the ground up. So it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't like, oh, we're putting a fresh coat of paint and just throwing it at you, like I think is what they're doing with The Last of Us, to where I could see them charging for that. But like just saying, like, oh, we've enhanced the game for PS5, so you're gonna get 2 more frames per second and you got 5 more minutes of gameplay footage, whatever, blah blah blah. Insert tagline here. mumbo jumbo that I don't see how they could charge you $70 for a 10-year-old game, or heck, not even 10-year-old, 2-year-old game.
So one thing with the price of games, and I know we're going all over the place, but that's okay. We're just chilling. When it comes to price of games, I could understand their original argument when these companies were like, well, the PS5, for example, it has more processing power, it takes more money to create the system, and blah blah blah, whatever. So I can understand like going from 4 to 5, PS4 to 5, why there may be a price jump in the games. But what pisses me off and just mind boggles me is how they also increase the price for the old gen games. So like P4 is $70. The Switch, you're looking to charge 70, and it's like, what? Like I got like it's no new hardware. It's not new hardware. So
what
why
game are
is
they charging $70 on Switch?
Zelda came out for 70. It was the first one. Tears of the Kingdom 2.
Okay.
Now, me personally, unless you really want the game that bad, like you were just dying and waiting for this game to come out, just wait for it to go on sale. That's how I personally feel, because these game sales, they go on sale often, and especially if the game is a flop, it drops like that.
Concord.
Jeez, shots fired. Dragon Age. You know, like like you see what I mean? Like imagine if you paid full price for Concord. Oh, was that free to play? Either way, it was trash.
No. It was $70.
Imagine, like games are no longer. You're not guaranteed a good service anymore. It's an investment. You're taking a risk with a game, because you could have bought Concord and then you're out $70. And the game shut down. It's closed. You literally bought a $70 brick. Congratulations. But then shame on you for buying that game. Yuck. But I don't want to go so much off topic, because that's a whole nother story. But speaking about...
That is a whole nother story.
Yes. Speaking of games that look good, and talking about the new games, Dispatch.
Dispatch is one that definitely... struck my interest.
Yeah, it looks like that Telltale games, like the choose your own story, like a Telltale's game, and it involves superheroes, so I'm down for it. And the graphics, like at first I thought it was like some kind of show on Amazon or FX or something, like a tie-in, but when I saw it's a game, it's like, oh, that is some nice animation.
Yeah, and like it's like you said, it's choose your own adventure. Got some really, really known voice actors in it, and just looks like it would be a fun play, kind of like the good old days of like South Park, The Stick of Truth, and The Fractured Butthole.
But I do want to ask you, so obviously you're the owner of the Matrix. We all know that. You know, we know you fought and killed Neo. But the question is, do you like sci-fi games? Well, sci-fi in general.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite genres.
So space and cyberpunk and all of that, it's your jams.
It's my jams.
So how do you feel about Intergalactic, The Heretic Prophet, the newest game being made by Naughty Dog?
I personally don't know what to think, because the trailer barely showed anything.
What?
And
what do you mean? They showed all those tie-ins to different companies like Porsche and stuff.
Yeah, all those endorsement deals. That's about it. And you're just playing an intergalactic bounty hunter. Like, you could be playing Han Solo for that matter. But it really didn't show anything, so I'm kind of on the fence. I'm like, okay, maybe whenever there's actually a story trailer, you can let us know what's going on, and I might be interested. I don't know, right?
It looked beautiful. Like I thought graphics, it looked well, but it is.
Don't get me wrong. All these trailers look beautiful, but that's just it. They're all trailers. Like only a I think only that Ninja Gaiden game was the only one that actually showed in-game footage.
What about Elden Ring?
Well, okay, 2 games showed it.
What about Split Fiction? I'm gonna keep going down the list.
Oh yeah, and I forgot they did do the Power World expansion that is
Yeah.
hypothetically in-game stuff.
Real talk, I forgot Power came out this year.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would have sworn that was last year.
And surprisingly, no nominations as good as it did.
Do you think it's because of the legal issues they've been facing with Nintendo?
I think so, and I think it's also a part of the which one of the announcements is also getting kind of heat for because it looks like AI allegations too.
Have we not learned anything from Terminator? AI is taking over. Like, what the hell? Like, literally everything is being done by AI.
No,
Even
no,
this
no! Don't be afraid. I'm completely control of AI, so it's fine.
Master of the Matrix.
Uh-huh.
But you did mention we were talking about it being nominated. Let's move on to the nominees.
Well, there is one more throwback announcement that I would like to talk about real quick, and that's
Well, this ain't
we're
the
getting
synthetic show, so we're gonna move on. No, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
they announced a new Animusha.
Oh yeah, you were happy for that.
Yes, it's like Animusha was one of my favorite because it was not your typical like uh survival horror game because
Hmm.
you're playing a samurai, so it's swords and shields, stuff like that. So I was excited whenever Capcom was like, "Yeah, we're gonna do a new one." Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, it seems pretty cool, and I haven't played Onimusha since PS2, so I'm excited for it. And that's what bothered me about Capcom and a lot of these companies is how they are sitting on so many IPs and they do nothing with it. And it's like, damn, if you're not gonna use it, at least source it out to a second party developer or something, or even a third party developer, what have you. Let them make something. Because if I'm not mistaken, the last time Onimusha had any representation and was used was in Tatsunoko versus Capcom. Onimusha fans, rejoice. You and the Turok fans are happily getting some representation, getting a game. But,
Actually,
well, actually,
the last time it was used was Animusha VR in 2004,
2001?
2000 or 2024.
When did they make an Onimusha VR? When did that happen?
I have no idea.
Oh, you know what?
Apparently, it was only for an amusement expo. I don't think it actually got released on consoles.
I completely forgot. They did a remake of Onimusha in between that time. But the last game I do want to mention that looked very intriguing was the creators of Yakuza and Like a Dragon. They were making a game. It was like Project 1915, something like that. It looked like Yakuza, but in the 1900s of Japan.
That's literally what it is.
It looked like Yakuza, but more mature, more visceral in the combat. Like if this was Mortal Kombat or something, because people were getting stabbed and stuff. I'm here for that. It looks awesome. But yeah, like you said, we do have to move on. Those were some of the newest games, but we got to talk about the nominees and how Sony paid off the Game Awards because Astro Boy was winning every single thing. And I'll be honest with you, after seeing how much Astro Boy won, including Game of the Year, I want to pick it up. I want to try it. I want to see if the hype is real.
Apparently, a lot of people are picking it up now just because of the fact that it won.
And I don't blame them. Shout out to the developers on that because what was it? It's like 5 or 6 awards they won, right?
It won, of course, Game of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
That's one. It won Best Game Direction.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how it won this, I do not know. It won Best Action Adventure Game. I do not think it deserved to do.
What was it?
It also won Best Family Game.
That I don't get either.
For Best Action and Adventure Game, it was up against Prince of Persia, Silent Hill 2, Star Wars Outlaws, and Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom.
That group of games, not taking anything away from them, but when you say action game slash adventure game, I'm thinking more Black Myth Wukong, Stellar Blade, like, put in your Devil May Cry clones, games like that.
See, this is the weird part. there is a separate category for action games. So it's like, why didn't they just group those together? But then again, I really don't know why they did that.
I lost count. It's either 3 or 4, but you said best family game, which
Best
is
family.
that's a platformer. Like, how did it beat Mario Party? How did it beat Mario Party?
I'm surprised it didn't win best sports racing game. most most anticipated game. I'm surprised it didn't do content creator of the year.
But I one thing I will say, when it came down to the games that everyone want to talk about, best RPG, come on, real gamers, we're here together now. Best RPG, I am surprised. No, I'm not saying Metaphor doesn't deserve it. I need to pick it up. It looks amazing. I want it. But I'm just surprised Final Fantasy VII Rebirth didn't win anything.
Which is a remake.
Yeah, but it's completely different from the original, though, sir.
Never mind.
Yeah. Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Hey, I corrected myself before I made my statement, sir.
See, I don't correct them. I don't correct myself. I just speak louder. No, but yeah. So shout out to Metaphor because it looks amazing, beautiful looking game, and yeah, it's a Shin Megami Tensei game.
Especially you being a Persona fan, because isn't that by the same people who did Persona?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Shin Megami Tensei group, yes sir.
Yeah.
But I'm just surprised Final Fantasy VII Rebirth didn't win anything because it's an amazing game. I'm still playing it, and I thought it was a contender for Game of the Year personally.
A lot of the games that probably should have won something didn't, like Silent Hill 2.
Oh yeah, they got snubbed.
For best audio design. It deserved that. I can't say that Final Fantasy music doesn't deserve best score in music, because it totally does.
Exactly. Correction, I forgot. It did win best music, which come on. Like, there's so much bangers in there. Come on.
Yeah, because as a Stellar Blade fan, like I think Stellar Blade had a really good score. Like, I actually bought it whenever they dropped it on iTunes.
Quick question for you. As someone who hasn't played Stellar Blade, have you played Nier Automata?
Yes.
If you could only choose one, which one are you choosing, Stellar Blade or Nier? Just curious, because they look very similar to me.
Because they kind of are. Like, a lot of people that actually worked on Nier Automata, kind of, from what I've read, helped out with Stellar Blade. And, like, a lot of people that helped out with Bayonetta helped with Stellar Blade.
Oh, Bayonetta's a fantastic game.
Yeah, so, honestly, I really can't make a choice. I love Nier, but the story is really out there. Stellar Blade, the story's pretty self-explanatory, but the combat is also nice.
Mm-hmm.
And now there's actually like a collaboration between Stellar Blade and Nier Automata.
I feel like Nier is an old game, and I don't mean that in a negative sense. I mean, like, it's one of those games where you have to beat it multiple times and keep playing it. Like, that's when we had the gaming drought, when you had enough time to just sit on that one game. But now that you have a game coming out every week, it's hard to grab that interest and keep people invested. Because as much as I love Nier, I beat it and I said, okay, I'm done, moving on to the next game. But I do plan on returning.
You talking about the first one or Automata? Automata came out in 2017.
I feel like that was not too long ago. Time flies.
Well, then not too long ago, they came out with like the Game of the Year edition.
Now, really quick, Synthetic, I just want to go rapid fire here. I just want to give some shout outs for these categories, because for best community support game, Baldur's Gate 3 got it, which I feel well deserved. I know Final Fantasy 14 was in there, and I love my 14, but Baldur's...
And of course, Helldivers too. We both love Helldivers.
Respect, for Super Earth. But Baldur's Gate 3, they have updated and they have worked on that game, improved it, kept adding things, well deserved. And speaking of Helldivers, best ongoing game is Helldivers 2, which I was surprised they took it because of all the Sony drama.
Yeah.
I respect my fellow Helldivers, and I love how that community has come together and rose Helldiver up from the ashes, because a lot of games crumble when their publisher does the stuff that Sony did.
Yeah, because I think both me and you called Fortnite, didn't we?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
No. I was
Well,
saying I was hoping it was Final Fantasy for best
Fantasy, but
ongoing.
you were hoping it was Final Fantasy, but you were calling Fortnite.
Yeah.
And
But
at least we kept it out of those greedy developers of Diablo 4.
also, shout out to Metaphor for getting best art direction because, like I said, beautiful, fantastic looking game. And then, of course, we mentioned it, but Game of the Year, Astrobot. Shout out to them. Like, I'm sold. I'm gonna pick up a copy at some point because, yeah, if you got Game of the Year, it has to be fun, right?
It's not my kind of game, so I don't plan on picking it up.
So, how long have you been a hater?
You're allowed to not like video games. Just because other people like it and it wins Game of the Year doesn't mean you have to like it.
Whoa. Sir, is this your first day gaming? If your opinion is different from mine, that automatically means you're not a real gamer, obviously. Come on now.
Yeah, that's what everybody says about movies too.
Which you can check out the awesome movie club here on the channel.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah, like, comment, and subscribe. There you go, yeah. But overall, Game of the Year categories, they had a lot of good ones. We had Astrobot, we had Balto, which that is blowing up. I know nothing about it, but maybe something I need to check out. Black Myth Wukong, Elden Ring, Final Fantasy, and Metaphor, which I think are solid picks overall.
Yeah, I'm honestly surprised Black Myth got picked on or got put on there, considering a lot of places didn't want to nominate it because of the controversy behind it, because of a mistranslation from a interview to IGN France or whatever.
But you got to look at it. If the people is backing it up, and the country with a lot of people is backing it up, then yeah.
Which I'm honestly surprised because it was until like Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree came out. It was the Black Myth was the highest played game on Steam for like that entire month.
And I'm glad, and it won best action game. I am glad that at least that side of the pond is getting some recognition. The impact that I've seen it's had, like all the videos leading up to it, this and that. Yeah, I'm glad like a lot of people are happy for that game and it's brought eyes on that side of the world. Also, I remember when that game was first announced, a lot of people were saying, "Oh, it's one of those fake trailers. It's not a real game," and here we are.
Well, whenever I first saw it announced, I thought it was going to be another Souls-like, kind of like Lies of P. And
Gotcha. Yeah.
in a way it is, in a way it's not, because you don't lose any of your stuff whenever you succeed in a boss fight.
Wait,
you don't have to go ahead.
No, I was saying people actually die in boss fights? Huh.
Oh, well, yeah, like you don't.
Imagine.
Yeah. Now, there's part of me that is kind of, because I'm a Warhammer 40,000 nerd, so I kind of wanted Space Marine 2 to win Best Action Game, but I did not think it was, because Space Marine 2 was just a different kind of game. Like this was like an old school action game of the yesteryear. So
it put hair on your chest is what you're saying.
Yes, it's kind of like whenever Doom 2016 came out, and it's just like you pop the game in, you turn your brain off, and then you just go at it, like no thinking really required kind of action.
Yeah, and I can respect the game like that, old school game like that. All right, Synthetic, I think that has been an episode. Is there anything else you want to hit on before we head on out?
Not that I can really think of, honestly, because me and you don't really follow the sports games. We don't really follow
Whoa. Excuse you. Don't follow sports game.
This Tekken's a fighting game, not a sports game.
Of course. I'm speaking of my wrestling, my WWE.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta respect the wrestling.
Yeah, but it wasn't even nominated, was it?
Yeah. It was in this best sports game category. So
it went to a soccer game. Really?
Overall, I enjoyed the Game Awards, and 10th annual. I can't believe it's been 10. I remember it coming on Spike TV. back in the day. So it's come a long way. Jeff Keighley definitely busts his tail for the Game Awards every year.
Sure.
Sure.
I mean, I don't really know what to say. I mean, the Game Awards have always been like a little, especially whenever like The Last of Us 2 came out and it divided the gaming fan base and was nominated and won all these awards, and it's kind of like, okay, well, maybe he's getting paid off. Who knows?
You say you don't know what to say. I know what to say. Guys, like, follow, subscribe, and comment. Join the Digital Arcade Podcast channel today. We have awesome shows. We have the Awesome Movie Club. We have Rated. And we have more stuff in the works. And yeah, join us.
Because Ace doesn't know how to quit.
Damn right. I'm a gamer. We don't quit. We just respawn.
Corny.
The Digital Arcade Podcast, your central hub for everything nerdy. Guys, have a fantastic night.
See you next time.
Helldivers, logging out.
For Super Earth.
For Super Earth.
For the Emperor.
You see, you had to take it there.